What's up, guys? So today I wanted to do a quick video helping people who want to learn all their keys. And I'll probably talk more in depth later, but you really only need 3 chords to learn an entire scale. So if you know those 3 chords, you can play one. If you know how to play in that if you know how to play in those 3 chords, you know how to play the entire scale. You can pretty much play anything that you need in that scale just by knowing 3 chords: the 1, the 4, and the 5, and that's it. Um, and I'll demonstrate. So let's say we're in C. So C, what's the traditional diatonic harmony? There's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminish, and there's major. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna learn the 1, the 4, the 5, and that's it. 1, 4, 5. Now you think this is basic, but this is the key to understanding how to play in other keys more effectively, and also helps improve your playing quite a lot. So instead of thinking of it in that, just think of like, all right, I'm just gonna play major chords on my right hand and change the bass note. So I have the 1, I have the 4, I have the 1, the 4, I have the 5, 1, 5, 1, and just like that, I go through the entire scale. This is a 4. This is a 1. This is just using the same chords that I know. Let's take it to D flat. 1, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 5, 1. It's very easy. It's very easy. It's very easy. And all I'm doing is using the 1, the 4, and the 5. Now where you choose to put them will change the chord. For instance, if I play this minor chord like this is technically a minor 11. You only need this major. You technically only need to put this over the E flat to make it a minor 11. Same with over here. That's all a minor 11 is. You can play a 4 over the 4, or you can play this and you'll get a major 9. Is that major? Yeah, you'll get a major 9 sound. This is G flat, B flat, D flat. Here's your major 7. Here's your 9. You can play this and this will be a dominant sound, or you can just play that, or you can play the 1 depending on what type of sound you need. This is minor 11 or that, and this is more of a transitional chord. You can play the 4, but just think of your scales in terms of 1, 4, 5, and you won't have to think too hard about how to play in different keys. And that brings me to my next point. If you know how to play in 1 key, you know how to play in 4 keys, because the chords and the structure is the same. Let's take D flat. If you know how to play in D flat, you know how to play in E flat, G flat, and A flat as well. You know how to play. You'll be able to play an A flat as well, because the feel is pretty much the same thing. You don't have to learn that much. For instance, in D flat, you have your G flat, you have your A flat. Most people, when they go to the flat 7, or they might go to the 2 major. You know, it's pretty much those are the main chords that you know, even the ones that are outside of the key. In E flat, you have 1, 4, 5, and you have the 4. It's the same chords in D flat. This is the E flat. Your A flat. Your B flat. The only difference between in D flat is that one note, but it's the same structure, except in E flat you're using the major, and in D flat you're using the minor. So 1, 2, let's do G flat. The only difference between G flat and D flat is this chord, and technically you should know this chord because it's the dominant sound, especially if you played in gospel. You go to you have a tendency to go to the flat 7. In R&B and in neo soul, they tend to go to the flat 7 as well, but in gospel it's incredibly common to go to the flat 7. So 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 1, 5. I'm gonna change up the harmony a bit. 1, 2. This is the 5. This is the 1. This is the 4. You can also play the 1 over the 4. 5. This is the 1. This is the 5. And that's the 1. And then you also have A flat. A flat. A flat. The 1 is the A flat. The 4 is the D flat, which, so far as you already know. And the 5 is the E flat, which is not a hard chord to play. If you can't play E flat, maybe the piano is not for you. But this is how musicians are playing. They're not playing like, it's 1, 4. This one's the 5. You see the 5 is right here and the 1 is there. You can play the 1, or you can play the 1, or you can play the 4. You can play the 5 if you want. This is the 5 over that. That's the 5. And that's pretty much it. Just by knowing that one key, especially a key that you're familiar with, you should learn what their neighboring keys are. I would say, musicians, you know more than you give yourselves credit for. It's just I don't want to say laziness, but it is. Yeah, let's not mince words. It's laziness that pretty much we don't want to practice things that make us uncomfortable or that looks foreign to us. We don't want to learn Spanish. So anytime we see something that's Spanish, people's minds just shut down. But you start throwing them some words, like hola or como estás, and then it's like you're able to pick up. The next time you hear that in a sentence, even though the entire phrase is, you're not able to understand what they're saying, you pick up every time they say hola or como estás because somebody had taught you what the meaning was. So same thing with music. Um, you know, if you've been with it long enough to know the 1 2 5, if you know your basic chords, if you know your basic music theory, then it should be very easy to adjust to playing and to be able to do something. So I would say with C, even with C, the chords that are most resembles the key of C, I would say is there's C, you have F. I would say B flat, even though B flat is a black key, I feel like it has more in common with C, even though it doesn't really have the same. And the main reason is because you have it most of the key notes you have to go up to them. So I would say C, D, G, F, B flat. So G, it uses the same exact chords. G, C, D, which is the two here. Most people know this chord. If you've been playing this chord, or they know to play the dominant chord. That's in D. It's literally just the one chord adjustment that you have to make. Just learn this chord and then you can play in G. And also I also forgot about the 5 over the 1. And there's a progression that I was thinking of in my head that just came up, but it's really the same thing. In F, you have your F. The B flat is probably the only adjustment you have to make, but then here's the C again. And really, piano is not that difficult. As long as you're studying your music theory and you're practicing, don't be stuck playing the same thing over and over again, and don't be content with where you are right now. So I understand that a lot of people get emotional over this transpose button issue, and me personally, I don't feel like I'm fluent in every key, but I practice in every key. I don't make excuses for myself, because some songs you have to learn them in their original key. You know, uh, you have to learn it in the original key. Otherwise, you're not going to get the nuances of that key. It's gonna be a lot harder to be able to transpose it to other keys. Like mentally, like to mentally um you know. And this is also where knowing your numbers comes in very handy. So learn your numbers, learn your triads, and practice your keys. Even if it's just a little bit at a time, if you originally practice for 1 hour a day, spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes just doing that in every key. It's not going to be fluent it's not going to be fluid in every key, but you keep doing that. You keep forcing yourself to learn every key, and also challenge yourself. Personally, what I do is, if the singers are singing in a certain key, that's not D flat, I I'll just play it in that key. I'll be like, all right, I'm trying to get better in the key of, say, G, or in the C of D. I'm go Instead, I'll use the transpose button, push everything to D or G, so that I can get stronger in that key. It forces me to get out of thinking in terms of one key center. So that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys would do differently, knowing that you only need 3 chords to play a song. You only need 3 chords to learn an entire scale. So that's it for today.